I am not at all a novice to the first day of school, but that doesn't mean that I have it figured out. My favorite part about the first day of school is that I didn't take roll. Its own fun little form of cruelty, both for us, the teachers standing up and butchering kids' names, and for the poor kids whose names get butchered and the ones who have to listen and watch it all, like watch the train wreck happen. Like I couldn't really visualize how to make that work, talking to every single kid on the first day of school. Like I have so many things to do. Like goal number 1, meet the kids. Goal number 2, do the things. It really just altered how I've approached this whole entire week. Hello my friends, and welcome back to the Caffeinated Classroom. If this is your first time here, my name is Marie. I'm a high school English teacher in San Diego, California. This was my first week of school. Well, it wasn't really like a week because we started school on Wednesday and today is Friday. Do you like my my football jersey? We do this really cool tradition at school where every Friday that we have a home football game, our varsity players go and find a teacher who they would like to ask to wear their practice jersey while they wear their game jersey to school. And it's a really cool way to like show school spirit. It just like gets you in the like Friday cool mood anyways. So I thought, hey, I'll just vlog in my jersey today. I wanted to go through for you guys what this week kind of held, what it looked like, what went well, what didn't, and kind of like my big takeaways from the first week of school. So recap, this is my 13th year teaching. I am not at all a novice to the first day of school, but that doesn't mean that I have it figured out. I will say that this year is the very first day of school that I went home and I didn't feel like I had been hit by a semi truck. I was definitely tired, but I wasn't that like bone tired, just exhausted heap on the couch that I normally am. So let's start with day one. Day one of school, I did stations with my students, and I had done stations last year. And the stations that I did last year were awesome. It was a really cool way to start the school year, but the stations that I set up last year, if you missed that vlog, I will link it down below or in the iCards. They were great, but they were kind of high maintenance in that a couple of the stations I did last year, like one was an escape room that I had, that was awesome. It was all on the writing process, but I had to like reset it every time, not just every period, but every time a group would go like through that rotation, I had to reset it. So I had to reset it like 6 times a period, which isn't that bad if you already know all your kids, but if you don't know all of your students yet because it's the first day of school, it kind of makes for like a really, I don't know, like high maintenance day. And I just remember being really tired. There were a couple of other stations like that last year. Oh my gosh, sorry, what am I doing with my camera? There were a couple of other stations like that last year that I just remember like making me feel really frazzled on the first day of school, which is not really where you want to be. So this year I did things quite differently. Rather than having like 6 different stations for kids to go to on the first day, I had 4. And then that gave us a little bit of wiggle room for some of the stations to take longer, for me to have conversations with kids. I'll show you what those stations are in just a second, but I want to tell you my favorite part about the first day of school is that I didn't take roll. I actually haven't taken roll. I have not stood up in front of my class and called names once. So rather than taking roll, while students were going through their stations, I went to each and every table and I sat down and I made eye contact with every single student, which I thought was going to take forever because remember I have quite large class sizes. And it didn't. It was great. I got to individually meet every kiddo. I said, "Hi, can you please tell me your name?" They told me their name. I found them on my little roster. I gave them a check mark. If they told me that they went by a different name, I wrote it next to it so that I had that one-on-one connection. I said, "I'm Mrs. Morris. It is so nice to meet you. I'm really glad you're here." It really has set the tone in a lot of ways, just that one-on-one. And bonus, I didn't have to stand up in front of the class and feel nervous about butchering kids' names because I feel like that's its own fun little form of cruelty, both for us, the teachers standing up and butchering kids' names, and for the poor kids whose names get butchered and the ones who have to listen and watch it all, like watch the train wreck happen, right? It's just like its own special form of torture. I've heard other teachers, especially on social media, and even just like my colleagues talk about doing something like that on the first day instead of standing up and taking roll, like just talking to kids one-on-one. And I just was like, there's no way there's ever gonna be time for all of that. Like I couldn't really visualize how to make that work, talking to every single kid on the first day of school. Like I have so many things to do. And then my priority was, instead of do the things, it was meet the kids. And like once I like shifted my mindset to like goal number 1, meet the kids, goal number 2, do the things, it really just altered how I've approached this whole entire week, and it's been like it's just been a good shift in energy and a shift in like priorities that I think have, like I said, really set the tone in this room. I'm gonna show you what it looks like around the room right now. Basically, here, I'll just show you right over here. Like behind me, you can see right here on this table, every single table has just stacks of books. And I had my son help me put these stacks out. They're just from my personal like classroom library. The night before school started, when I was like setting up the room, we just put stacks all around the room. Here, I'll show you some more. Yep, they're just around. I mean, don't mind the little bit of a mess. And those little stacks of books around ensured that from day one, students were gonna have books in their hands. Some of our students are so used to fake reading and trying to avoid holding books and reading books, and it's put such a bad taste in their mouth from being forced to read things they didn't want to read, that I'm trying to kind of like break that stigma and help them change their mindset around reading. And like, here we are, books. So whenever at the end of these first day stations, they were done early, I said, take a look at a book. You don't even have to open it, just fan yourself with it. Like, just to kind of like, I don't know, like lighten the mood a little bit surrounding books. So I'm gonna show you the stations that I actually did on day one. Obviously they're not set up anymore because this is the end of day 3. But I wanna show you what those stations were. Station 1 was the Investigate Your Teacher activity from Abby, right on with Miss G. And it's really, really cool. It makes students use their skills of inference to kind of figure you out. It was kind of funny though, because so many of my students were my freshmen last year and either already did this with me or like have forgotten that they did this with me, but already know me and are now my sophomores. And so to find them talking about in their reflection, like things that they never thought about before when they were freshmen, but are now noticing about me and about the room. It was just kind of a funny thing. But so station 1 was Investigate the Teacher. Station 2 was a lot of the setup and like businessy stuff. Google Classroom, I had them like log in, join their class code, which is under here, and then take a little reading inventory that I did a Google form for, just to kind of like, and I'll show you guys actually some of the results because it's a very interesting survey, because then we talked about it. Done early, peruse a book. Station 3, I had them do a student English profile, and this is from another friend. This is from Ashley Bible, Building Book Love. She sent out as a freebie these ELA profiles, student profiles. So it was really cool. They all filled one out, and I'm actually gonna put them up on the wall probably next week. And then Station 4 was email etiquette, and this idea I got from Jenna Copper, Cop Teaching, and I actually used some of her slides that she sells in her little like lesson on email etiquette, and at the end students had to send me an address after they like led themselves through a little slideshow. So it was cool. So good, simple, kind of needed to be done but not like super difficult activities and tasks that were good for the first day, that allowed me also to be able to interrupt them to like say hi and introduce myself and just talk a little bit, and they could get back on task when we were done. Loved it. Loved it. So like I said before, my biggest takeaway from week 1 was changing my own mindset to prioritizing meeting students and making it about them and not about what I needed to get done. And that really set the tone. And the other biggest takeaway that I am grateful for was like, just listen to what they want to do. Kiddos ask me, can we read? Heck yeah, you can read. I'm gonna change the plans because I would so much rather that you get into this book that you've just chosen than I say, oh, well, I'm sorry. I know I just told you to check out and I told you that that reading's really, really important, but I need you to put that away because I need you to go and like fill out this form. Like, no, or like we need to talk about the syllabus. No, just read the book and like that stuff will come later. Yeah, so I will say I have a lot of work to do. I am barely keeping afloat right now just because it's the beginning of the year and I'm a mom of 2 little kids and this is just how life is. I'm not stressing about it, really. I mean, yeah, I feel the pressure, but I'm not like freaked out stressed about it. It just is what it is. Yeah. I have a lot of work to do this weekend and some of it'll get done and some of it won't. And you know what? It's gonna be okay because there's always the fact that this is a reading and writing class, so sometimes we can just read. I know that was kind of like a rambling, talking at you kind of a vlog. And I got to show you around the classroom just a little bit. I will do an official classroom tour in the next couple of weeks, but I just wanted to do like a quick little, here's how the first week went. I'm excited for the second week. I'm excited to really show you guys some of the curriculum that I'm creating and the like resources that I'm trying to put up on Teachers Pay Teachers as fast as I can so that you guys can use it too. But with that, I have a football game to get to. I need to go pick up my kids, bring them back for a little kickoff tailgate in our student parking lot. It's gonna be super fun, pizza and music, and then everybody's gonna go into the game and it's gonna be such a good time. So, if you've not already subscribed, take a second to do so. Like this video, comment down below if you are as pumped as I am about the first days and weeks of school, because I'm pretty excited. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you for stopping by. Bye.